So what I wanted to talk to you about today was how our thoughts can be a little bit toxic sometimes. And it's interesting how we can spread that virus, that's a very popular word at the moment, to other people in the way in which we're kind of like worrying about things. People cope with things very differently, and this is because people have very different views of reality. You know, we think that there is the truth, that there is one truth, but there isn't. There's multiple truths and multiple views of reality. So when you have lots of different views of reality, what can end up happening is that you get conflicting views of reality. And that is why we have different political parties, that is why we have different power dynamics and different power struggles and things like that. So be mindful, in a sense, if you can, when you're talking to somebody who perhaps has a different mindset. So I've got a selection of really, lovely friends who are very much like, we had it coming. We were waiting for this. We knew that there was going to be some kind of virus. We've been warned about it for years, and here it is. We need to cull the population. There's too many of us on the planet, and we needed to rethink how we do things in terms of the environment. So they're all kind of like, yeah. Sorry, was I supposed to be bothered about something? They're all like really chilled about it. They're all kind of like, well, this was an inevitability. We are on a journey. And the big question is, as thought leaders or spiritual thinkers or teachers or whoever we think we may be, is how are we going to be the answer to this in the next phase of what's coming? Then you've got other people, other friends of mine who are, this is a disaster. We can never go back to the way that things were. We're losing so much. Businesses are going to close, divorces are going to happen, families are going to break down. Like, people are getting sick and they're dying. And all of these things are really awful and terrible, and all of that is true. So they have a very different view about it. Now, these aren't glass half empty, glass half full people. This isn't like, if you feel like this, you're negative, and if you feel like this, you're positive. But it's about how we create framework around situations. Some people frame things from a viewpoint, you might call it victimhood if you want to, but some people frame things from a worst case scenario because it makes them feel safe in one regard. It means that they can think it through, pull in who is like-minded around them, and they feel by thinking it, and some might say overthinking it, but you think by thinking it through, coming up with all of the worst case scenarios and how bad things are going to get, that they can protect by understanding, like the worst case scenario handbook, that they can actually prepare for whatever it's that's happening. And they want to share this information with their friends to help their friends prepare for the worst case scenarios, so that we have stockpiled toilet rolls, or we have looked at what we need to do next running up, or we have socially isolated a week before anyone told us to. That's all really valid, and those things make those people feel safe. In exactly the same way as, on the other hand, the people feel safe by going, nothing I can do about it, it's an inevitability, it just is what it is, I'm just gonna, not go out, I'm not gonna go and be stupid and put anyone else's life at risk, but I'm also not gonna sweat it. And what happens when you've got two groups of people, that one will be trying to influence panic onto this one, because this one looks like they're laid back and don't care. Whereas this one just has a different perspective. It doesn't mean that they don't care, but they just see this situation as a solution to something, whereas everybody else sees this situation as to be a disaster for something. Both are right. You can have two truths that contradict each other being right at the same time. And I'm sure you listening to this may even have a completely different right that I hadn't thought of, that I haven't considered, that you might say, actually, Becky, you're completely wrong. This is all about 5G network. Or actually, Becky, you're all wrong. This is all about veganism. Or this is all about, you might have a completely different perspective. The thing is that what we really need right now is not what we did during Brexit. Did I mention Brexit? I think I like the post saying, I miss Brexit. But like to actually kind of go, not to try and keep educating each other in the rights and wrongs of stuff. Not to keep enforcing on each other the rights and wrongs. Just to listen, really listen, Because when you try and talk over someone, making them wrong, that's where we end up with conflicts, and that's where we end up kind of getting stressed out about this stuff. So listen when people are concerned, but don't also as well let someone catastrophize if you are not a catastrophe kind of person. And if someone's really laid back, you don't have to instigate change into them. And at the same time, you calm people, don't have to calm down the catastrophizers, because they're perfectly happy catastrophizing. So yeah, I'm sure that you may say, I'm a third party, I don't do either of these things, I just eat. Yeah, just eat. That might also be true. All right, you take care.